Hello again, folks. Welcome to the second video, the part 2 of my American Resistance series. And today we will talk about kind of the basics of peaceful resistance. Well, think about it in any way you want, but there's a staple in any kind of coordinated action, and that is knowing yourself and knowing your enemy. In fact, a lot of things depend on how well you know stuff and intel in general. Because you might have as many members as you want, but if you cannot use them effectively, then the numbers aren't as useful. That the one of the best examples nowadays of this is the war in Ukraine, where Ukraine still manages to fend off Russians, not only because they are determined, but because they have superior tactics. Well, I'll begin with knowing, well, yourself. That's more important than you think, because when you don't know yourself, you have a much bigger chance of either underestimating or overestimating yourself. Underestimating yourself isn't as dangerous as overestimating yourself, but you won't achieve good results, if any results, because most of the time, if you would underestimate yourself, you'd be like, well, I can do that. I might be powerful, but what if something will go wrong? I don't think I'm ready for this, even though you already have quite a lot of people that are determined at just stuff. Overestimating yourself, on the other hand, is in most scenarios a lot more dangerous, because you might go all in into a situation that might turn into a trap. And generally, overestimating yourself is one of the biggest blunders you can do. And again, taking an example from the war in Ukraine, the very beginning of the war, when Russians marched on Kiev and ended quite badly. They overestimated themselves, and that's basically why we are here now, 3 years later, still fighting this war. So you have to take a lot of factors into account, such as the number of your movement's members, their determination, and, for example, even their economical situation. How much money do they have, and if they can, for example, just live off of their savings when they are, for example, on a strike. And spoiler alert, I will discuss strikes a lot because they are quite effective. Now, since I am about 5,000 kilometers away from the east coast of United States, I don't know practically anything about the size and numbers of the American resistance, except for sizes of various rallies like the Bernie Sanders and AOC's anti-oligarchy tour. So you have to do the evaluation of your capabilities by yourself. And one, well, a tip, I think it could be called a tip, is be autonomous as much as you possibly can be. And that ranges from, I don't know, I will speak in kind of military terms, from local command centers of the resistance, the headquarters, to the individual members themselves. Do as much as it's possible to be autonomous and independent. And for example, when it comes to various larger actions, for example, protests or, I don't know, maybe a bigger strike or demonstration, just take a few trustworthy members, tell them about it, and order them to spread the word about it. So when the day when the action will be undertaken or just executed, everybody who wants to join it will automatically just come and do it. It's like telling all your people, be right there near the, I don't know, police station Friday at 15 o'clock. Basically, autonomous activation. You don't have to just send in a comment to every member to come one by one. Just tell them when, where they should be, and that's it. So this also helps a lot in situations where the headquarters might be targeted by some other group or even police. And for example, if that happens, it's good to have an automated response where, if, for example, the headquarters doesn't give orders for, I don't know, a week, it will automatically trigger a protest at the nearest police station or so on. So that prevents the incapacitation of the resistance by beheading its command. Well, just when you will be evaluating your capabilities, be precise and just, if it's necessary, just check it twice, 3 times, 4 times. You have to be sure, and you have to know yourself really well, because then you can effectively use your supplies and prevent under or overestimation. Now, when it comes to knowing your enemy, that might be a little tougher part, because you may not see the enemy most of the time, or the enemy behaves in a manner that you don't understand. Well, when it comes to knowing your enemy, one of the best things you can do is to read books. For example, I'm not really sure about the correct translation of the book's name. I know only the Czech name, but it was written by Sun Tzu, and just Jesus, I forgot the name. I'll maybe come up with it later. But to give you an example from quite recent history, I have brought with myself the book Tyranny by Timothy Snyder, also known as 20 lections from the 20th century. I have it right here. It's a Czech translation, and To be honest, this little red book, as I sometimes call it, and the similarity between this book's nickname and the name of the Chinese Communist Manifesto that communists in China carry is purely coincidental. This book is a must-read, I believe, for everybody who wants to fight Trump and win. This book says a lot about what fascists and communists did and how they destroy democracy and turn it into dictatorship. This book is absolutely awesome, and you can find it cheap. This particular really well-looking version in it's you just look at it. It's beautiful. This book cost me about I don't know, $50 or less. So, and you can find it in just paper bindings or whatever it's called for even less, and it's quite short, and the information it contains is invaluable. So if you have at least few bucks lying around, one of the best things you can do is to spend them on this book. And excuses like I don't know how to read, I'm illiterate, just doesn't work. Since you are living in America, you probably went at least into primary school, and it's tiny. It has, I'll take a look, about 100 pages, so there's no excuse about not reading it. Next thing is observing what they do and how they behave, and trying to find a pattern in their behavior. I'll talk quite a lot about how Trump and his goons behave, because that's one of the main purposes of the American Resistance series, and I will also talk about the similarities between Trump and some of the autocrats we have here in Europe. So that's quite it. And when it comes to classifying this particular part of the whole series into the peaceful resistance or insurgency, it kind of falls into the both, because it's the very basic thing, but that's it for now. We have to start from the very basics and then build on it. Well, it's just like this. Read books, study your enemy, evaluate your capabilities, and try to see the big picture. How they behave and what you can do to stop them. Also, another good advice, I think, is building the resistance in the same way a military is built. Take lessons and advices from military, because militaries have been constructed for centuries to be as effective in commanding people as possible. So building a structure of resistance similar to a structure of an army is a right way to do it, because armies, especially the Western armies, have optimized their methods of command to be as effective as possible. So if you want to lead your local resistance, or you know somebody who can do it, just tell them about some military books, or go find some, because what you will find in them is eye-opening. Another thing I want to add before I'll end this video, because it's quite long, is you have to know the difference between strategic and tactical decisions. Strategic decisions are made by few well-skilled strategists. It's like the general staff of an army, the literally the brain of the army that does the big decisions, and it's like the general sitting around the map and moving figures of tanks and soldiers on it, and doing the big thinking, the big decisions, because you have to have effective people, skilled people at the top, so they can make the right decisions. And just strategic decisions are done almost exclusively in some sort of headquarters, usually when there's no threat around, and they have to be done with calm head, so they're as effective as they can be. Well, tactical decisions are done on the zero line, on the literal front line. For example, when you are participating in a demonstration, and some riot policemen will appear from a side street, you will, for example, go to your friends who are protesting there too, and decide to maybe withdraw into the center of the crowd or something. So do the big thinking, the strategical decisions for in some sort of headquarters, and avoid security leaks like the recent Signal Gate, where Houthi war plans were leaked to a editor-in-chief of The Atlantic. It's, I think, a quite a good idea to avoid such things, like inviting a journalist or somebody who isn't trustworthy into a meeting where you discuss your moves, because when enemy knows your moves, it will in vast majority of cases use the strongest possible counterattack there is. And also, when it comes to tactical decisions, it's good to have or know somebody who can decide quickly in tense situations. And if you are operating in a group of some sorts, even if it's a group of 5 to 10 people, somebody who's a good leader and can decide quickly and do the right thing is a must-have if you don't want to be reduced into a flock of screaming protesters. So I think that's enough for the part 2 of my American Resistance series. I'm doing well, guys. I hope you are doing the same. God damn it, I hope you are doing even better. So enjoy your evening, enjoy your free time, and see you next time.